She was watching me, Black Jasmine. We were just looking my way, perplexed. That was the only reason I was going to record. Put it on YouTube or not. I'm thinking about, what should I do? Dig holes and plate for a few tomato plants? Probably. I'm thinking about just mowing a little bit. I put on a cap for it. I was thinking about eye protection too, because it'll get grass. I even put a shirt back on, because I don't like to feel the wet grass on me. I put a cap on so it don't get all in my hair. It's just as bad with the weed eater too. But I don't have the cover where the grass comes out on my push mower. It's totally off now. It was partly on there, but I have it raised above specifications because it does something. It makes it slightly more dangerous and irritant, and makes you need to add up on the precautions and be careful what you mow close to, including other creatures or inanimate objects like windows. It increases the safety factor, like distance from mowing from objects and people, and maybe not unlimited to pets, animals, and your own self. You got to start, because the grass and dust blows in you. Say you start blowing with your cutting mower. You're mowing on the side of a hill or not gravity. You got a breeze. You're mowing against the breeze. It's wet that cover off of there. It's blowing. I might as well, if I said that much, I ain't planning on putting it on YouTube. I might now, I don't know. On my bigger mower that I'm about to pull out, my new one. I haven't operated that one in years. That one I bought about a year ago, a little under a year ago, for somebody in Norman for a parts mower, for a different mower. I got this cover all the way off. Or am I going to get stung by wasps? I might. I got the cover all the way off. Or normally I like to wire it up, bungee strap it. I like it raised a little bit. But all the way off, it scatters that out more. And if I'm mowing towards a wind, it blows on me. Gets in my eyes and when it normally wouldn't. So I'm going in a different category. Now I'm compared to childhood years, teen years. Never felt the need to do that from certain matters. Wasn't even like a grinder. My grandfather might have put on glasses from time to time. Not only to see, to magnify what he was looking at, but I wasn't just there watching him, maybe even protect his eyes. But he didn't do that like he should have. And one time he had to go to the doctor. He got a piece of metal shaving off the game. I wasn't out there watching him. I was about 17. I think I took him to the eye doctor on that one. Now, I know it was painful. You know it was. That metal being hot or not, just getting an object in your eye that needs to be removed. Oh my gosh. That's, yeah. I've had my eye poked a time or two since then. Over something minor than that. The corner of a dog food sack. A 50-pound dog food sack. Bent down to scoop up a deal of dog food years ago. And hit the corner of the dog food sack, poked into my left eye. It caused me problems months thereon. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, couldn't hardly open my eye. I wasn't even commonly going to a doctor then. I don't even know if I would have brought it up to a doctor. When it started, I don't know. I was not seeing a doctor routinely until a year or two before that. By then, I think he quit doing it. He'd done it on and off for 6+ months. I wasn't even going to a general practitioner doctor yet on the common. Every 3 months, every 6 months. Because if it'd been a week before or the night before, I probably would have brought it up to him. I don't know if I ever did. If I did, it don't matter. I'm not going to complain about it. If they notated it, more power to them. But I don't think I ever brought it up to them. I couldn't really confirm or deny, but I'm leaning to a big no. Because if I did bring it up to him, I sure in the heck wasn't expecting nothing. That makes me lead to more of the concept that I never brought it up to him. I didn't have a reason to on the timeline of it. My grandmother was around that time or soon after that time with that, whatever happened to my left eye. She was doing something else, even if I seen doctors indirectly that way. She had a longer stay in the hospital. She had another stay soon after I think I healed up on that but that eye matter in regard to my left eye. And that's my weaker eye from a history of getting eye exams. And it's the weaker side of my body. non-dominant side of my body. And historically, that proved, I got my first, age of 16, 17, I got my first eye exam. Left eye proved to be somewhat weaker than the right eye. And 2, I know bright lights, like less blinks per minute, it'd make my left eye get red. You can see it, there goes those ones. But yeah, from childhood years onward, I never, until the more recent, I never thought like, wow, need eye protection operating a push mower. I've said that much. Hopefully it starts up with no problem. Is this not the elderberries? I built that when I was like 12. I'm gonna say it again and again, whether I upload this or not. I was right in front of that porch, same porch that's there today, minus the gate and the little fence. I was younger than 13. Unless it was the summer I turned 13, I was no older than that. I think about a year before that. I don't want to say what that went to. I know what it went to. Do I got to say? If I must, I will. I know what it went to. Factory, far as I know. It's a driveline deal. Somebody pulled up while I was unbolting it, and I said, hey, will you hold the bolts on these other sides? They'll make it go quicker. While I was laying under a parked vehicle, using my easy-to-get-to ratchet set. So there's a U-joint going out on it. Or something like that. Why did I take it out? There was. There's a U-joint going out. Which side? Why did I take it out? Now to look at it, somebody could tell me if that's a factory U-joint or not. May not have been factory. I know what this come out of. I never replaced no U-joint in it. Surely, if somebody needed to replace it, if that came from who? Yeah, wait. I can't tell good enough. None of that's looking factory to me. Would it not say on it? That still don't tell me if it's factory or not, does it? I know what this come out of. For some reason, that's not factory. That'd be a little bit peculiar to me. Because what it come out of when I acquired it, had no more than 25,000 miles on it, and it was like 2 years old. And I ended up confirming who the prior owner was. But and it was owned by a business too. And whoever might have drove it other than the main owner, I have not a clue. What they might have put it through on purpose or accident, I have not a clue. Anyway, let's get off of that. But something made me take it out. Something was loose and made me take it out. Oh. Unless there's not another U-joint for it to connect to. Something was getting loose. I hope I'm not incriminating myself on something there. On a technicality. Let them rack it up. God bless. I'll just hand it to them. Oh, make it easier for you. How about that? Give you a legal defense, give you a legal offense, defense on my own rear end. No. We got enough gas in this thing to operate it? No, it's less than half full. It'll quit raining or I wouldn't be thinking about doing this. Oh hell, it's got something in it. I think that's the biggest cubic centimeters? Whatever that means. This is the biggest motor I've had on this type of frame of a push mower. And what I'm coming to learn on that, here's probably free advice if I upload it. When you pick it up and turn the oil side away from it. That way you don't get oil trying to come out the muffler or burning. I don't know if that's in bigger diameter or not. My forgiveness. If this is bigger than the diameter of that one I got from a different store, not trying to be competitive. To me, I don't know if this has got a safety slip. Like where if it gets loose, it starts slipping so you know it, so you'll not just tear something up. Oh, I've dulled the hell out of this blade. It'll still mow it like it's cut by a new blade. Especially when it's wet. A little extra lubrication, I guess. But that's on aluminum, that's cast aluminum. I don't know. I could have some concepts on this. With these big wheels, I'm not afraid for that to even go a little bit bigger. Yeah, I don't think it makes it that heavy. But I'm set on this. I always like to have me a spare blade and know how it matches up. And maybe I'm learning to spare one of them. That thing right there, and it looks like the same one, same size. It cracked on my other one. It had a crack in it and it went. I was letting somebody operate it. I probably shouldn't have last summer season. I still got pieces of the parts on the pool. Maybe I do. I've had trash taken off, stuff bagged up, porches rearranged, not been organized, or doing a lot of organization. Got stuff getting wet that I don't even like getting wet. I'm pretty much ashamed of it. I got somebody to mow with the weed eater. I stood in the shade and watched. I feel like I did a good service. I hope the young man don't take it as an insult if I do upload this. And I'm not just trying to give away identity. It's like if you know, you know, or if you're in that circle enough to know, it's like not a whole lot of people could figure it out. And why would anybody be trying that hard to figure that out? With that factored in, no big deal, I would think. I'd like to have another one, a backup. I liked what, I'll end on this note, and I hope it's okay to say it. That 1 year, I got these on, perfectly spit on shirt. I don't like wet grass on me. I don't like grass on me even if it's not wet. I'm learning, because again, I got the guard, the point to some of this, guard's off. It's been tilted up before it come off. I was using the bungee strap to hold it. See, it's not far away with the bungee strap. That didn't come with it and is not rated for it. So yes, it is lawful to run something not to code, as long as you put in the extra liability waivers with it, with not only just a blind, mindless liability waiver, if needed, or liability insurance, both. Extra precaution. Meaning you don't, did I say this earlier? Yes, and I'm going to say it again to sum up. On a Timex wristwatch, you wear these when you normally would not. Safety glasses that come with the weed eater, I think, or similar, same style. You got the guard off. Don't mow as close near windows, vehicles. Make the rated distance even farther than normal, because purposely going without the guard. Why going without the guard? It makes the grass not as thick, especially even dry or wet, especially if it's damp. Makes you do things better, makes it easier, makes it not clump up inside as quick. There's a reason a person does what they do, even if it's viewed as unsafe and impractical and not to code. But there's still a legal way to go around that and still make it to, you're making it to code. Or if there's not, like people, if they don't have a spare guard, if you're on the highway and you've got big machinery, you probably can't get out from that. I mean, what I've seen bush hogs, I don't know what they use today, but they got like little chains hanging all the way around the bush hog. There's probably, depending on where you're operating, dangerous machinery that can throw rocks or unknown this or unknown that or unknown piece of baseball bat or a limb that fell. It's probably the code, and you're not going to change it. That's all there is to it. You just got to hope you can get it fixed quickly, or you got to back up machinery, secondary machinery, to operate in place of the primary. In some cases, or the only thing you could do to code then, if you're not near a house, if you want to stay in operation, here's your only option I come up with off the top of my head. Regardless if you got somebody in your ear on a walkie-talkie giving you a scope of traffic and not a bunch of driveways to overlook in between, because that can really trick a person. Thanks they're monitoring traffic in and out, you know. Like, hey, you got 2 vehicles coming. They'll be there in 30 seconds, approximately. But anyway, that's the only way they can get away with it. Is knowing there's no pedestrians, there's no house, there's no driveway, there's no mailbox, or nothing more than a driveway and a mailbox. It might throw a rock out and smash the mailbox, unless it happens to be a very $10,000 looking mailbox, just for an example. I mean, there'd have to be no oncoming pedestrian, bicyclist, pedestrians, commercial, residential, non-commercial, vehicular, passerbyers. That's the only, because you might sling something into the road. And in essence, you really have to have another pickup watching you. And like, unless you got time, you can't be in a steep ditch. I'm saying that's one way. Then you got to have somebody else still watching what you're doing. You might be slinging a 3-pound hunk of driftwood or fallen limb out in the center of the state highway or county road. So their safety covers off. County road, state highway, either or. If take the circumstances into play, if they're in a stretch of highway with not many driveways, not a lot of traffic, especially a straight stretch, and you got a secondary person to help you get something dangerous with gloves on out of the highway, you got no passerbyers from whatever form, foot, vehicle, whatever, or people coming up to the edge of a yard a lot. Because as soon as that happens, you got to disengage your mower, if not the entire machinery. That way nobody gets hit. But otherwise, it can keep, instead of somebody just saying, oh, guard cover's down day, somebody's just cheaped out of 4 hours of operation. Already got the tractor out there, already got the equipment out there. I'm going to be like, well, we got to shut it down. And we can't have 2 tractors going because this one ain't got the guard and they're not going to get it. They said it's not going to be available tomorrow at the soonest, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you got that extra guy in the pickup that's playing around watching, picking up people anyway, guy or plural, whatever, with or without their walkie-talkies, well, if it's in the circumstances like described, even if it's a little bit busy, disengage mowing, pause and wait. Pause, disengage your mower. You got traffic approaching. You have to mow in between the spells of traffic if it's not just insanely busy. Otherwise, if that's your only, if you're down to that, you might as well remove it or wait on your replacement part. You're not wanting to stay in operation that bad. That's unreasonable. And Jasmine says, I think I know what you're talking about. Or I think she's like, you're making sense. Categorically, you're making sense. Believe me, I've said some things lately, not even yelling. They just start walking away from me. Like, go under the house, sound them like I'm saying something bad. They're like, what is coming out of his mouth right now is bad. Let's get away from him. And I'm not even going to hit him or do nothing to him. I don't even really hit them. You know, I don't. Unless I yell to them from a highway or around another dog or they just do something stupid. And it ain't that bad. Let's look at this hammock and be done with this. I might upload it. I don't know the brand. Not familiar with the brand. Probably pretty good brand. What company? Is it imported from another? I would like a neutral company. Kind of like a neutral country. A neutral overs. I don't know. I want to venture something. Do something. I'm wanting to branch. If I can get enough money up front, I want to branch into many different territories. And then do it privately. I'm not going to be just broadcasting on social media or this or that. Here's my next idea, here's my next idea, here's my next venture. Even if I ever got in a position to have enough money to do it. Projects, categorically. Things I might not even know of today that would surprise me. Like, okay, I'll go with that. She said, sounds good. I need, dog kennel is one of them. Dog kennel and or appropriate efficient dog pens. Chicken coops. Coyote proof, wolf proof. Cost effective. Don't need anything solar for that. Unless it's set up in a way we got down to freezing temperatures or below freezing temperatures to have a power bank, power unit, solar unit to emit a little bit of infrared or otherwise heat. Don't want to get into the categorical ideas. I got to have a few engineers and technicians on standby from solar categories, electrical categories, agricultural categories. That's not even talking about spiritual. The categories can grow beyond that. How to treat water, how to make water certified, purified, spring or not, what's the difference? I want to know the overview of all the ways to treat water. What's the most healthiest? What's the most cost effective? In some cases, if you can do it, you're going to take healthiest over cost effective, depending. If don't, I want a label on there. I mean, if it's already government approved, or even if it's never been done before, I want a little bitty extra words to denote something. I may not ever get the permission to do it, or permission, both. But behind the scenes. Pretty birds, if you can hear them. If I can get on good grounds, I got to know their environmental deal. That last little proposal I'm going to make here, hope it be good, open good dialogue. Because it's going to be hard on me. I'm going to have to compromise here some, but I hope I get in exchange for the compromising, whether it's considered through negotiations, which is not exactly counted as trade. But even if there's a level of trade, I don't know. I'm not trying to work around that with IRS or FTC, because I'm realizing some of us, we can be Arkansas hillbilly and so stupid we don't even know what we're doing or what we just did. But as an individual, I think they kind of maybe would overlook that. Or that's not like you're a big entity that's got all these people that are certified and already know. You got a tax firm, you got a law firm. There are a bunch of people got paid to have you and prevent you from doing that, whether you know a CEO or not. There's a lot of things I don't know. So that makes some ideas very difficult. One, not only don't know whether or not legally in the position to do it, and then don't want to waste my time if I'm not legally in the position to do it. It would take some culvert work. Off the bat, I wouldn't want the primary entrance, maybe a secondary emergency entrance, to be between that propane tank and the highway. I got to have a roundabout way, but I'd like to use that field, just 3 or 4 places where people can put some RV, maybe not RVs, depending on how good move out. I got to make the easement, the accessibility. It won't, that part will not be much. Maybe one new culvert for a certain area where it's got one that was implemented well before September 2006. I mean, it's only like 16 inches in diameter. I mean, the easement, the long time easement, the main easement to the in and out of that particular field since I was a kid. Some things have changed, and there's a big mud hole. About from here to that little holly tree, or whatever type of tree it is, next to a wild cherry tree, I think, that's been topped. I'll need to top these cherry trees. Hell, all these trees probably need to be topped, especially the ones close to the power lines. I can handle it. I'd rather them be topped than just done away with. You get my drift with what I'm learning? Even this one. Now, to me, these are rare yard trees. Clean around these type of trees. Perfect trees. Look at putting out on berries. Good. I think they keep the leaves in the winter. These are the type of trees, in my non-expert opinion, that you want to clean around from and have a picnic table under. A table, picnic table, something like that. Good shade tree. Good cover tree. Good hammock tree. Good lot of things tree, man. They're priceless in some ways. To me, that's kind of a rare tree. That breed, that type. Slick, a little bit slick bark. Nobody trained me to do this. To learn. Beech tree, slick bark. It's something I've picked up over the years, man. I don't know how to explain it. Well, I was talking about something the other day that I do and I've done, and I've never been trained to do it. Oh, throw a beaver stick as a baton. Kinda. And that was what I was joking about. No coach ever taught me that. I don't know what I was throwing up in the air as a 12, 13, 14-year-old, but I was realizing I could throw something up and catch it pretty good. But I did do shirt tails off and on from like 8, 9 years old, 10, 11 years old, and play pitch with stepdaddy at the time in the yard. And I mean, he'd even throw some grounders and go get them. I probably had a natural talent for some of that. Didn't know it. Built up on the muscle. I probably been a pretty good pitcher. At that time, that's what I hated. I might would have got pretty good at swinging an old baseball bat too, especially if I had more muscle. These are pretty. I need to extract them. Do a short on that and move on to something else. I am going to operate that Craftsman weed eater, push mower. Craftsman, Briggs & Stratton. We'll give both names on it. Seemed like there's something I was going to say and it slipped my mind. But, if they're not... Dang, I already posted it. I guess I would like to know, like, if we're in good humor with each other, me and that LLC, and they're not caring if I'm making money, them on board or not, on something else, but I'm still keeping it open with the idea of them getting it more involved with it, unless they do a private dialogue in the meantime. I wouldn't mind. I want to keep campers. I want to start slowing that 3 to 5, and I need to have a dialogue with them. Like, is it going to be certain pump only? I mean, if I can get that going pretty quick with very minimal investment. If I get to keep it to that region, not intruded upon this region, I can get that going less than, not even $10,000. But I guess I could start with I don't know if they legally could, how would they put anything down? I mean, the hard part, here's where the hard part would come in. Having someone, not just me, I wouldn't have to have that many employees. Unless I force myself to do it through and through, boy, that would be a sole proprietor, man. Not even contracting somebody out, that'd be rough. I mean, booking and all that. Booking, the disclaimer, take ID verification. I'm going to have an online entity that's already in existence. Whether somebody's there physically swiping that ID, I've got to have an ID like a hotel room, motel room. It's got to be electronically verified. It's got to be with certain disclaimers. And different, if 18-year-olds are even allowed to do it, different stipulations for someone at least 18 versus 21 or older. Preferably, right now I almost need to do a senior citizen deal only, 50 plus. It would factor out, yeah, senior citizens only. The veterans are not, forget about that. But so 50 plus only. There's the starter. I wouldn't have it that much to worry. You got 25-year-olds coming in, rich, trust fund babies, born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They're going to be swigging down that beer, liquor, rowdy. I'm not wanting to hear gun shooting. I doubt this factory wants to hear any gun shooting. We're not wanting any pollution. Government don't want it in the river. I don't. Surely this company next door don't either. So me, the LLC, and aspects of the government surely have got a big no-no list. We've already all got, hopefully, our big no-no list in common. You see where I'm coming from on the liability side and the professional side? No extra liability on me than necessary, or them. Keep them comfortable. It's got to be ran very solid. No little sneak-ins, no BS. Try not to cuss. I mean, if it's gonna, I don't even know if I'm legally, in a spiritual sense, allowed to make money off this. If it's a spring break deal, there's gonna be a bunch of graduatees. It's gotta be. They gotta have quite a few adults on hand. They gotta have like referees, regulators, like not employed on this side somehow, or that's making my costs go up. Like private security. They gotta be like, hey, by before 1 a.m., the sound's gotta stop, the music's gotta stop. If it don't, we are calling local law enforcement. I don't know. How do you regulate that? They can't be just at 3 o'clock in the morning blaring their boombox drinking beer, even if they're 50 plus. And then you got your neighboring campers. They don't allow that. Think of this. I mean, on this note, none of that is allowed at Charlton. Is it Charlton or Charleston? Off of Highway 270. I think CC Camp helped build some of it. But anyway, somewhere between Malta, Arkansas and Hot Springs, Arkansas, off of Highway 270 East, there's a nice campground. It's got a dam built, or the swimming hole probably would not even be built there. A man-made dam, not a beaver dam. Now, I got lots of beaver dams through here I don't even mess with. It's about like a protected tree to me. Almost like a protected animal to me. On the private side, you dang right. It don't mean I can't work into later private tours. That's just not for anybody and everybody. It don't mean Or do I need to set up a dirt track for the ATVs? If we're going to do four-wheelers, they got to have a speed limit. This place is not going to become it. It's not a place to ramp a four-wheeler, ramp a dirt bike. It just cannot be that. It's too dangerous. I'm not going to make money that way, even if I got no legal liability on me. People having dirt bike wrecks, breaking their back, breaking their neck with or without a helmet. No, this is not the person. Is she still married to him or used to be married to him? Pink, the artist, the famous artist that goes by the name or title Pink. Blonde woman that sings songs. She dated or married a guy from Motocross, something like that or similar to that. He's had quite a few broken bones in his day, I believe, and surgeries. I'm just referencing, that'd be like having a stupid a rifle range. They got a rifle range, or used to, not far from Caddo Pond, if you can find that in Montgomery County, Arkansas. And plus, who wants to hear that all the time? That, other people's music. So Charlton Campground, your average campground, people are not allowed to blare their own music at all. You're pretty much very low level on the sound, considered noise pollution or not. Each to their own on taste, visually and audibly, audio. Cuss words, explicit language included and or excluded in the aforementioned somewhat description example. In the average campground, you're not allowed to blare your radio. You're not allowed to hoop and holler, drunk or not. You're actually expected not to if you're expected not to have alcohol on the premises, and if there's an unsaid rule that they overlook, whoever they may be, it's supposed to be done with a level of tact, disclosure, or privacy. So, I mean, right there, just your state or county, whatever those campgrounds are called, they expect a level of behavior. Aside from the pollution side, aside from the littering side, they expect a level of somebody's camping over there, somebody's camping over there. Whether it's 50 feet apart, 100 feet apart, 200 plus feet apart, whether or not there's even trees in between or an easement in between, they expect a level of rules and regulations. Some of it, basically your common, what's it called? You can get in public, supposedly, especially in a neighborhood or a town. Indecent conduct or bad civil conduct. I'm not talking about somebody doing indecent exposure, but civil, like civil conduct. I can't remember. There's like a charge for that. You're expected to act like a decent adult that you're claiming to be. And if you're 14 years old, 15 years old, there's supposed to be somebody, a parent or guardian, that's at least the age of 18, if not 21 or older, that claims some level of responsibility of you. Or, in this, add one more legal idea to this. What if it's a family vacation here or anywhere in the United States of America? Parent and guardian's not there. They didn't just go, either if they went with distant family, they went with close friends. So that puts, even though it's a person that's already a parent, married, Jane Doe and John Doe, been married for 4 or 5 years, or no, they've been married for, say, 17, 25 years. They've got a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old. Well, a fellow, they're one of their best friends from high school, the 14-year-old's best friend, who's 15, is going with them on the trip. Who's responsible for anything and everything that happens there? That could get into a legal, no telling what right there. If it was real bad neglect and or accident, the legal parents, they could be wanting to sue not only the facility but the parents that were there, the legal guardians that were there. Unless those parents are smart enough, kind of like getting insurance when you go from Canada, health insurance from Canada to America, a concept like that, or some kind of liability waiver, or do something out of an abundance of caution that's done uncustomarily and or extraordinarily, but nonetheless wise, potentially, before you leave, notarized or not, for a family vacation. That's week, 10 days, whatever. You're going to have the longtime friends of that 15-year-old, the parents of it, you're friends with them too, whatever. Maybe they've been best friends, he or she's been best friends with your 14, 15-year-old for the past 5, 7 years. You all but consider them family. Maybe you even got close to one of their parents along the way, in a good way. as friends, deep, strong acquaintances, or maybe even best friends. Well, in some cases, if you don't have certain things already leveled out, or the more of the acquaintance level you're on before that deep friendship or deep, like same as family criteria, because then it should be pretty easy to get it worked out, however. But anyway, either way, but before that, kind of like a pre-planned will or something like that, you're going to have something notarized, a little statement. Guardian, name so-and-so, of so-and-so, minor, age so-and-so, address. Hereby allows the temporary adult guardianship to go on this family vacation. Blah, blah, blah. 1-2 pages, notarized, sign. Their medical information is listed. Emergency contact, allergies. Do they need an EpiPen brought with them? Let's come on now. We can straighten it gnats or get the big liabilities out of the way. Doesn't everybody want peace and security? Private surveillance? They sure the hell do if they can afford it. I'm gonna go look at them pink flowers again, that's about it, or do a YouTube short. I gotta operate a Craftsman / Briggs & Stratton push mower. Yeah, I wish I had the piece of that lazy grown dog brought here middle of 2016. Look at him. He is doing that goofy son of a gun. Need mobile vet clinics that they're authorized on behalf of the vet and know how to give shots. Make it state certified that you're in compliance with rabies vaccinations. I want more education in that. Leash law or not. And that also coincides with neighbors, coincides with brief campers. On my camper idea, it'd have to be interchangeable. I already decided tents can't be right across from where that hauler is. Why? I got good answers. You'd have to rotate it out. That would have to be a common area. Not with a high populace at one given time. It'd have to be a common area with a pavilion, maybe one medium pavilion, one small pavilion, picnic tables under pavilions and under trees. And that's about where I want it to stop, the camping part to, slow down. We'll figure out if there's a few little ATV routes or not. But the farther get this way, the farther my strictness idea, conservative idea, and believe many areas from nature, springs, water sources, ponds, no matter how small. Beaver dams, pollution, noise, privacy. It all goes up. Much of it on a very, very, very personal note. And then you want to get on the business note of it. There's a region of spring or springs, technically on 2 different properties. This is the 3rd different property. From here to there, contractually, is 3 different properties. 10 to 12 acres here. Whatever section of the almost 138 leased premises is, that surrounds, not counting the highway easement, an almost 5 acre spring property. So between here and there is sections of all or part of 3 different contractual properties. Contractual or not. Protection of springs and pollution and lack thereof is highly important. So is liability for Johnny and Sarah to be teenagers or 25-year-olds to be camping on somebody's property with or without the LLC included on courtesy and beyond courtesy, accommodations, long time landlord / guest and above and beyond property overseer who grew up with a big backyard and likes his privacy. And enjoys his wildlife. That's not necessarily his, but he goes with it. I like nature a lot. I like wildlife. Why would I want to just go through eradicating it with poison or bullets or guns or extinct or run it out? Why would I? Not with my 30-plus year history with it. I see no reason for that. To me, it would be a sad shame. And I've seen a few snakes not the average person has ever seen in the state of Arkansas. As far as I know, they're native. I was on the phone a number of years back to an Arkansas herpetologist or something like that, trying to just, wasn't even about getting against them. I was just like wanting to know if he wanted to come out and look at some stuff or even do a little study. I don't know, just, he acted like he might later in the season. I don't know if I made him mad or not. I don't think I did. I only know his name, what he looks like. I was talking about but it seemed like one guy dealt with salamanders more than him. He dealt with snakes. I did see some salamanders where I was trying to make the flow better for something for my easement to that particular hayfield. It does need a replacement culvert. But I guess wherever salamander's there, it's common. That's pretty green. I don't know how it shows up. At least there's clover in this. So surely it's got some value as hay. Even if what, I gotta get so cheap, just please mow extra areas that are not hay. Mow it, cut it, please, please, please. Believe me, if there's a 2 foot high, 1.5 foot high peach symmetry coming up, they don't bother them to cut it down if they keep their blade sharp. If little trees, look how fast some trees come back. Quick. If they're tender, it's a little harder than cutting hay and grass and clover, but it'll cut it. They may not want to, I don't blame them, they don't want to get into a lot of that. You know, they don't want into that. I'm talking about half the size of this, even smaller. They can cut it if it's not a whole lot. Hay cultivators have done it before. Grows back fast, man. Average tree in the state of Arkansas probably grows anywhere between 1 and 3 feet a year. If not that, anywhere from 5 inches to 10 inches, if they're not in the footage category. So this or not. I know I like ivy growing up a deal, especially big muscadine vines or whatever them big old vines are. But I guess poison oak or poison ivy could be a problem to a tree over time. I don't know enough about it. Where'd Jasmine go? I see Sandy eating food and Missy on the porch. Mia probably went in the house. Jasmine, did you go under the house or inside the house? I want to see if she comes from that way or out the door. I'll zoom in if I can and let this be the conclusion. I hear pretty birds, pretty bird. Probably kind of a sad ending on that nest where they built it. That wasn't real smart. I didn't even think about it on their test flight and the dogs. I didn't see a dog get one yesterday. I left not long after that. I kind of abandoned ship on that one. I can't save and protect everything. Jasmine. Should probably come from that way. Jasmine. Not you, not Sandy. There's Mia coming out the living room door. Stretching, like, I've been busy laying on your great-grandmother's quilts. She says, I've been laid up like old Henry Brown Dog out there, except not on the gravel or the damp ground. I've been doing it on your couch. She's like, I'll put my nose off the edge of the porch and sniff the air. Have we got an intruder that I need to just ankle bark about? She can be a little barker. Sometimes I think it nothing. Come on, Jasmine, let's get this over with. Unless you're under my bed. She just started doing that 2 months ago. That's all I'll say. There she is. She came. She'll come up all the way to me. Watch her jump up at me. I hope not. Thank you, Jasmine. She's dusty from going up in the house. Uh-oh. She needs a new tick collar, flea and tick. It's been on her probably 2+ months. It's rated for, I think, like 7 months. I'd have to read the box. A little bit water resistant, but she gets in the water more than probably the average expectation of that collar. And last, I wouldn't want just 20 of them collars in a little pool of water commonly, or lost. I wouldn't. And let's not strain at gnats or make too big of a deal out of something. Like maybe somebody lost a beer can or a Corona glass bottle. Don't associate it to COVID-19. Oh, you slipped a bottle. You lost a beer bottle. Don't let... Well, if it's in a populated area, it'd be pretty bad if somebody cut their foot on it, I guess. But or even a aluminum can tore open, sharp metal, edge of metal. But let's not try to strain at gnats, you know what I'm saying? But still be practical, logical, and wise, and be willing to implement measures that are accommodating to multiple parties and help safety factors. Prevent liability, ensure safety factors. I don't even want to get in bottles. How do you sell bottles? They should be having machines and selling their bottles out of the machine. God bless, there's a marketing idea. Be nice if it could be more than one. I should be holding that idea in private negotiations. It's too easy for people to steal ideas. Or even if I'm not, even aside from giving them away. And you not get a penny out of it. I don't know. I don't fully know. Is it copyrighted just because I did this? Pending copyrighted? Bro, pending idea, pending patent idea to self, copyrighted. Cannot, if it's not already patented before this date, it cannot be used, right? Maybe? Intellectual property, ideas, engineering ideas, not theoretical ideas, very, very hypothetical ideas based on hypothetical conditions and investment value and other factors, said and unsaid and not totally conceived of due to the preliminary idea. Dead limbs need to go. That's why I leave that limb there so people don't park close. Right under dead limbs that can fall when it's not even breezy or raining.